Hey, hello everyone. This is Naveen here. Welcome back to another video. I hope you all are doing good. So, today I'm going to talk about how you can set up your monitoring and alerting system for your AWS RDS SQL instance. So, we are going to see like how you could make use of the tools and options which AWS itself is providing, how you could make use of that, and how to set up things. So that's what we're going to see. Let's see it in action directly. So this is my AWS console, and let me go to the RDS service. So I already have a couple of databases which are created, the SQL databases with RDS which I have created for this demo. So we will be using this RDS SQL Server hyphen DB2 instance. So this is my instance. Okay, I am using DB T3 small class, and I have SQL Express edition for this demo. And here's my endpoint, and I have connected to my instance here, and this is the database which we are going to use. Okay, now coming to the monitoring part. Okay, by default for RDS SQL instance within AWS you have this functionality like which gives you a very good insights about like what's going on within your instance. Okay, so you have CPU utilization, DB connections, how much is my free storage space, right? So whole bunch of details are there within the console, so you don't have to do any special configuration or anything for monitoring your AWS RDS SQL instance. Okay, but how do you get this is something like maybe let me just open another tab and I'll quickly show you. When you create the database, there is one option which you have to which is enabled by default, but if you're not enabling that, then you might not be getting these insights. So, for example, this is the page where where we can create the AWS RDS instance. Okay, so now if I come here under additional configuration, I have something called performance insights. So we have to, this is turned on by default, and this comes with a default retention period of 7 days for free tier. So depending on your requirement, you can go ahead and change this, like for how long you want to retain this data. And this is an enhanced monitoring, which is again like you could tweak the granularity according to your needs. Maybe it could be for 10 seconds or 30 seconds. So ideally speaking, 60 is a good value, but if you want much more granular level of details, so you could always go for some lower values. Okay, so that is about it. So this is the place where you come and change it. Let's say if you haven't done it for an existing database, like if you go and do a modification, so on this screen you should be still able to do it. So that's one thing. And another nice option what we have is we will be able to stream or push our SQL Server error log to Amazon CloudWatch. Okay, so that gives us a whole new options, like that gives us a different set of options which we could explore, so that you can create a separate alarm and set up notification against based on specific events. Okay, so this is another option. So for example, like now if I check this, now for this specific instance for this database, I'll be pushing my logs to Amazon CloudWatch. Let's see. I enable this. We will also take a look how that looks like. Okay. So I've just enabled this for now, and I'll just say apply immediately. So this will take some amount of time, maybe while, as you can see, like since we are doing this modification, you can see the status is configuring log exports. So let's leave this for a minute or so, and while that is running, okay, um, let me go back to the other DB which we have. So this is what I told, like we have in our monitoring, the default monitoring which is available. Okay. So if you go here, you have whole bunch of other information. Like I have CloudWatch, OS process list, performance insights. So performance insights is something which we enabled it. So I haven't shown you the details yet, but let's take a quick look. So from here also you could go from this console also you have this performance insights from this list, or you can go there and select the performance insights. So this is my graph for RDS SQL Server DB1. Okay, and if you want to switch over, yeah, you can always do it. If you are like if you want to switch to other databases on this region, you could always do it. And here you get details about like database specific counters or metrics. For example, like average transaction, log flash weights, log bytes flashed, whole set of different information, and you do have an option to customize this report. So you can say like manage metrics, and I think you can have up to max of 15. So out of this you can go and select like what all options you want in that graph, and you can actually do it. So let's say if I want to add user connection, I'll just say update graph, and it's going to add that graph also here. So this gives you like overall details. Like you could also, so whatever I am showing you now, it is all database related stuff. But as you can see here, you could also go and add CPU or OS related metrics. For example, available disk, and you want to know how much is the user mode CPU utilization, and another option is like how much physical available KB, amount of available physical memory in kilobytes. So you could go ahead and still have OS thing also. So how this is going to help is whenever you are dealing with any sort of performance related problem, so this is going to give you a complete picture like what is happening in my database, how is my OS responding to it. So all those details are going to be available to you in a single place. So that is one main advantage, and you don't have to have a separate tool or write any custom code to do this. So everything is inbuilt, which you could make use of it. Okay, so let's go and check what happened to that uh, other one which we started. It was in modifying state. Okay, good. It is in available. And this is one part. Okay, so far like I've told you like where what is available to us. Okay, and what other things we could customize in our environment, because few things you don't get it by default. For example, one of the best example which I can think of is deadlocks. So deadlocks is something which you encounter quite frequently. So by default, like the deadlocks would be captured in extended events, but if you want them to be captured in error log, we have certain trace flags which can be enabled. So since this is a uh, PaaS offering, platform as a service, where you get access only to the database, let's see whether we are able to actually enable the trace flag with the normal command. Okay, so I'll just do dvcc trace on. Maybe I'll go with 1222. So you say it says user Naveen does not have permission to run dpcc trace on. So which means like I cannot do this from management studio. So what I have to do is like in RDS you have something called parameter groups. Okay, so if I go on this, you can create your own parameter group, and you can say like what all parameters you are going to customize, and that parameter group you can attach it to your RDS instance. For example, I'll just say RDS group like that. I'll just name it, and let's say this is for RDS SQL Server DB2. For example, I'm just giving some description. Okay. Now, what we can do is I can come here and set, for example, one of the thing which we just saw is deadlock. We know for deadlock, trace flag 1222 is what we were trying to enable, though there is another trace flag 1204. Let's see, like let's go ahead and edit this. So this is something which we can edit. So I'll just enable it. And as you can see, there is whole bunch of other trace flags which are available, and you also and this portal also gives a short description about each trace flag, so that it will be helpful for someone like who is not aware of those trace flags to just have a look into it and see how that would be benefiting them. So like this, you have a whole bunch of different options, and few options are not configurable. For example, you could see modifiable. Whichever items you see modifiable is true, only those options you could change. Okay. So as of now, we have just enabled trace flag 1222 for deadlock. Now I've saved this parameter group. Okay. So now I know like if I search for 1222, it is enabled. But how I can attach this to my RDS instance? As of now, it is just a parameter group. It is not mapped to any of my RDS instance. Okay. So now what we can do is, let's say I want to take this and let's do another modify. Here in the modify page, you have something called parameter groups actually. Let me search for parameter group. Yeah. So this is again under additional configuration. Now what I can do is I can come and tell, okay, use this group for this specific RDS instance. Okay. Now let's go ahead and save this. Let's I'll tell apply immediately, but please note this will need a restart of your RDS instance. We have to reboot the instance. Okay, I'll just say modify DB instance. Again, this will go for modification. This might just take some amount of time. Okay, while this is going on, what I will do is I'll just this, by the way, this is the RDS instance which we are working on, and this is our database, right? So let me create some table. uh, I'll just say test, just to show some workload, so that you can see the data real time, right? In our monitoring which we have. Just to simulate some load, I'm just keeping this as char 8000, so that you will see some activities happening on disk and database utilization, those things and all. Let's quickly check if this is done. Okay, now I'll just say insert into test. I'll just say it's just some dummy data which we are inserting. I'll just do it in a loop so that it runs for some time while we are doing other things. Wait, there is a typo. My bad. This should go. Okay, that is going on. So as of till now, like whatever I've shown you, like that is going to show you the metrics. Okay, so so far we haven't talked about how to set up alerts. So till now we know, okay, we have this data, this is the place I have to come and see what is going on. Now moving on, now let's see how you can set up an alert basically. Okay, so again we have something called events. Okay, for example, let's go and check this events. So you can see, finish it updating DB parameter group. So these are the different bunch of set of events which has happened so far for this database. Okay. Now we have to create a subscription using which we can actually receive these alerts, right? So what I can do is create a new event subscription. I'll just say RDS SQL Server DB2. Okay, and I can choose the existing topic, or you can create a new email topic. So I just created with DB alerts already, so that's why you see it here. If not, you can create one and give the email address here. So when you're creating a new one and giving the email address, you'll get a separate email where you have to acknowledge. So this is like a subscription where you have to click and say, okay, I confirm my subscription. After that only you are going to start receiving those emails. So if you are not doing the completing the subscription part, then you won't be receiving emails. Maybe let's see, I'll create a new alerts, new topic. I'll just say topic name is DBA, and I'll give my email address. I'll quickly show you maybe. So this is where we give the email address and source. It's going to be instances, and I'll say all instances and all categories. So just to show you like what all details we have, or for what all events we get: availability, backtrack, backup, configuration change, creation, deletion. For all these things we get. Okay, so I think there is like you can see, like for maintenance or reboot, everything you get a notification when you go for all events. Or if you want to be more specific, you can select for which specific events you want a notification. I'll go with all events now. Okay, let's go ahead and create this. So we have created this one, and let's go to the databases. Let's quickly refresh. Okay, all good. That modification is also pushed. Logs and events. I'll just say create an alarm. One second. Before I do this, I'll show you this. So I told you, like when you are creating this events. Okay, let me go to events and subscriptions. So this is the one which we created. Okay, and now until and unless I acknowledge this, I'm not going to get any event. So this is for upgrading parameters which we did. This is completely different. Let me see my spam, because we get an email. Yeah, so we have to confirm our subscription. So that's when you start receiving notifications from there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and confirm my subscription. Okay, now this is done. So we have confirmed our subscription for which we just created an event. Now what we will do is, um, let's go here. I wanted to show you one more thing. We are in this monitoring, and let's let's go here. Here I can create an alarm. Okay, so send notification, yes, send to ARM, and this is our uh, email for which we'll be getting the notification. And I can say, like, maybe if my CPU is going beyond certain number, send me an alert. Similarly, like, I can send for all these different set of events from this uh, alarm. Okay, so this is one more place where you could come and configure your events. Okay, so for now I'll not go and create this. mm, Okay, so if you remember, like, we have enabled, we have pushed few changes. Okay, now we want to reboot our instance. Okay, let's quickly do a reboot so that after that reboot we can come and actually see, like, maybe we can see like how the data looks in CloudWatch and those things. While that is running, let's quickly check if our, okay, since we have done the reboot, this connection got terminated. Okay, while that is loading, let's see few data here. I will also go to the CloudWatch in a while, where we can go and check um, how things are configured. Now that we have set up the email notification for this restart, whatever we have done, right? So ideally we should be getting an alert. Let's go and check. Okay, there is an RDS notification message which says source ID RDS SQL Server DB2, message is DB instance restarted. So this is a notification which we are getting with that subscription, which with the event subscription which we created. Okay, so that is what you see here. So you might be wondering, like, while creating the event subscription, we haven't mentioned any database name, or we haven't mapped it here. So if you have noticed it, the source whatever we gave, so I selected for all instance. So if I want to do it for a specific instance, I can always come and do it here, so that it will be more specific for that specific instance. Since we went for all, so I don't have to do any separate mapping. This is the place where you come and define the instance which for which you are going to do the setup. Okay, and this is the notification we get. This is how we get. And when the instance is, let's say if your database is getting recovered, or if the recovery is taking longer time, for that also you will be getting a notification ideally. Okay, so that is about that. That's how you set up, like, high level notifications for these kind of critical things, like if something is getting restarted or having a failover, or if something is down. If you're shutting it down also, you will get a notification. Okay, now let's connect back uh, to this same instance, and I want to continue to run this insert. Let's see. Okay, this is started. Now what I'm going to do is just to simulate some load. I have a, like, this is an open source tool which you can get, SQL Query Stress. I'm going to run a select star from this table. I'm just going to run few bunch of queries against this database. Let me set up this authentication so that we can simulate some load on the system. Because, like, when we are looking at the monitoring data, at least we will have something to see, right? That's why I just wanted to do this. Number of iterations, let's say 1000. Number of threads, we'll say 10. And Let's do this. This will be running for some time, and simultaneously I'm going to start one more test. Like I'll just repeat this same insert again, and let's set up this. Let me copy this. I know like this is not a big or complex query, so I just kept it simple so that it will be easy for you to follow. Let's see what is the database name, and this also, like let's maybe go for 1000, and we'll go for 10 threads. Okay, so now we have many things running. Okay, one is the insert which we started, and other one is a select statement from RDS or from SSMS. I can come here and do it. Okay, so this is our select statements which we are running. Now let's go back to the CloudWatch. Okay, and let's maybe take a look at the performance insights first. Let this load. This is the DB for which we want to monitor. So this is for last 1 hour. Maybe I'll just change it for last 5 minutes. This is a little bit slow. Okay, so you can see database, like how is our log flush happening, log bytes flushed. So you can see all going up because we are writing a lot of things. And let's further come down. You could see like the number of batch requests increased, like because we have started multiple sessions, and page life expectancy you have. Again, like as I said, you can customize this window. Okay, it is completely customizable. I've just picked some random uh, counters, and I have added it. And at OS level also, you have like CPU utilization and average user connections. So if we see average user uh, connections, it's like around 33 it's going on. So that's how it is going. This is all real time data is what you're seeing. So all these are like metrics, but now let's go and check the important aspects like wait stats, how everything is going on within the server. Now if I come down, you could see like these are the top weights. So page IO latch, write log. Since we are doing like heavy IO with multiple sessions, so that's why we are seeing these set of weights. And you might be wondering like we also should have visibility of what query is being running. So if you come further down, you also have the query which is contributing to this. So you could see these are the queries which we are running. So select star from test is one, and another one is insert into test. So that is what you see here, and you could also see the top weights. And all these are like real time data, right? You could also set the granularity level depending on your need. So we can see like this is the major weight which we can see so far. Async network IO, because like we are pulling data over network, so this is something which is kind of expected. So that is what we see. So like what I wanted to say is like within like the existing tool or existing options which we have within AWS itself is giving us a very good insight on what is happening within our database. Okay, so this is how you could actually explore and see like what exactly is going on, and when you're troubleshooting performance issues with RDS SQL instance, this is the place where you can come and check things. Okay, And I think I haven't shown the cloud watch yet. Let's maybe go there. We'll stop these things. I think it's okay. This is done, and I'll stop this. So here you have log groups. Okay, this is the CloudWatch console, and if I want to look at the error log for RDS server DB2, this is the one I should be going into, and this is my log. So this is basically like our SQL Server error log, which is getting streamed into this CloudWatch, and these are the different events which we have. Okay, for example, now what I can do is I can create an alarm from here, so that I can look for a specific metric and create a trigger or something. Okay, for example, let's see. Okay, I haven't selected a metric yet. One second. So maybe I'll go with a database engine. For example, let's take free able memory. Let's select this maybe. Okay, so this is how the graph looks. And what I can do is threshold type. It is static. When this freeable memory is less than certain limit or lower greater than certain limit, I can put the number here, and I can set up an alarm. Okay, so depending on this data points, let's say for example I will just say 1000. Okay, and I know this is not a correct value, but just for the this discussion I'm just saying. So create a you can select an existing SNS. SNS is nothing but simple notification service. Again, that is a separate service. Maybe you can check here. Simple notification service. So using this, it is going to send a notification when a certain condition is met, or whatever threshold you are defining. If it is exceeding that, it's going to send a notification. So that is what this is basically for. So how you can make use of this is, for example, like if there is any sort of deadlocks which you are encountering. Okay, so one of the way to set up a notification is push your logs through CloudWatch, and from there you could set up an alarm whenever there is a deadlock event reported, notify an user. So you could do something like that. Okay, so that is how this is going to be helpful. Just let me know, like if you want me to show that also, like how to set up a notification for deadlock. I can definitely show it to you, maybe not in this video, maybe like in future video I can cover that. So that's all I had for this video. So I hope you all liked it. Please do let me know in the comment sections about your feedback, or if you want more contents on RDS, I'm happy to do it. Please do let me know in the comment section. So that's all for now. Thank you, and